Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Homefront Harmony. I'm your host, Stevie Dahl. We have one of our favorite guests back again with us today, B. Taylor. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Stevie. Thank you for having me.
Every time we can have you, we will have you, my friend. You and I align in our passions and our fights for what we do for service members and their families. Yeah. You actually bring it even more further with the first responders, which we know a lot of service members end up transitioning into that world as well. One of the things I love that you focus on and you fight for is the mental health side of everything. Because a lot of people, I don't think, realize that mental health issues are not strictly for service members that maybe did combat duty. It can be any service member. It can be the spouse or the partner. It can be the kids. You know, there's whole levels to it. So I wanted to one of the things I love that you do, and it's big and near and dear to my heart, is the comedy. Because for me, laughter is so the best medicine to have.
Yeah.
And I'm a smart ass. So I know that you partnered with Dre's. You have a comedy night you do for the military families to come out, or it's later, so I'm sure it's more the date night. We'll call it date night kind of thing to it. But talk to me about what led to that.
Yeah, just so I did a partnership, being in music, and Dre's night group is one of the biggest conglomerate night groups and hospitalities in the world, and so for hip hop, urban pop music, it's the number one spot, with Cromwell, which is Caesars Entertainment. So Mark, who is the managing director for Dre's, been there 27 years, and he's the family member of Victor and Dustin Dre's, the cousin.
Okay.
He's been working with me with One Life. I've known him since my sports days, military days, my NFL days, been knowing him for a while since, and he's always taken care of me. So he's always been a part of One Life organization as an advisory, supporting the troops. He came to me and was like, hey, man, Dustin and Victor and Dustin have this innovative idea. We have the after hours down here. Yeah. We open at 12:30, but before then it's closed. We spend on the lighting. We have a stage. We like to talk about comedy. So I'm like, man, this is cool. So I was like, okay, let me go talk to. I have a friend named Eddie Abrams who has been in comedy shows producing as well. And I said, look, Eddie, they want to do comedy, come on in, we would work with my management, my production company, and I'll be the producer, and we can produce this together and work with this on the strip inside of a night group, such as Dre's, and the after hours that's the longest serving. And so now you have this after hours spot, Dre's after hours. Inside of there, you have this comedy, Dre's comedy. Okay. You walk up the stairs and go now to Dre's nightclub that holds 5,000 people. Right. And then you got the Dre's Beach Club up there as well. So now you get to laugh. Then you get to go upstairs, see your artist on a Friday and Saturday. You get to take the comedians up, do a promotions up there. They get to see the artist. And then a lot of times the comedians and actors know the artist. We just had Kevin Hart's ex-wife, Tori, which is, she's a vet. Army vet. Ooh, so we and her linked together, and we knew Migos. So when we were walking through the tunnel, the VIP to go downstairs to the after hours, we knew Migos, and we stopped, and Tori saw Migos. We saw, we saw, Offset and everything, and it was that's the thing that happens, because now I'm bringing the comedian and actors with the entertainers in all of one building in walking distance. Yeah, and so I knew that. Laughter, like you says, heals with me being in music. And that's one thing was big to me with One Life, of using the things that works with the military, the DOD, the VA, which is laughter and music. Right. So when I was able to be a veteran, and minority, to do something with, Dre's, with Dustin and Victor, seeing this opportunity of laughter and doing it with a veteran, and what I bring to the table, even though it's hard work and you have to grow it, and, we're growing this thing and learning, understanding it, it's a great thing. And so I was able to honor veterans and military before, because I'm, the producer of the show. So it was a way for me not just to highlight music, but to also honor our troops, vets, first responders before we kick off, and then be able to later on have opportunities for veterans to perform, and do things and highlight them on a Dre stage, and do these honorary things that are unique, to give them opportunities, and to have, veterans like my self-work. And it was cool because no one would have known Tori was a vet.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I had no idea.
Kevin Hart's ex-wife,
Thank you for your service. Yeah.
Right. No one knew. But when I do these things and highlight this, I always pull who's military and veterans where they might have not talked about it.
Right.
It comes out because of me doing these things and highlighting these things so that the masses of people and young people be like, what? She's a vet? Yeah, it's cool to serve.
Absolutely.
You can still have a life after service. It makes you even more determined and more excellent. So that's what it was able to do to bring, with what my One Life is about, is using this entertainment platform. And that's what I think trying to get these companies and your partners to understand is like, entertainment and comedy like it is multi-billion, so money driven. It takes a lot of money to be in entertainment, to record, to produce, to make records. And when you have someone like me who has the background, who comes with the DNA and trying to open up these doors to get these opportunities where I can take my celebrity friends that I'm able to produce and work and create events and create opportunities for military veterans and first responders that now would have these opportunities at Super Bowl and at BET Awards and things that are not highlighted, then companies need to sit down and understand that you know this is a money driven. Sports, professional sports and music and comedy, it's money driven. These are $1 million budgets. But when I'm able to do this, you should understand what it is if you're going to partner with it and understand like this is hard and this has been groundworking things leading to this to open up this platform as a global ambassador.
Well, and I think what is huge about it is I think that the understanding of the availability to those military families to be able to access this. Like you brought in the music. Music is a great thing. I know for you that was a key to it. People when they have lived the military life and they're dealing with whatever the stress is, whether it is PTSD they're dealing with, whether it's just the stress of transitioning out of service, then they have no idea where they're going to go, what job they're going to do. These opportunities that are out here are so great. Like for me, a big thing for stress and clarity is my treadmill.
Right.
I got to get my treadmill in so many times a week. It's just 30 minutes. I have my whole music routine, but it's what helps me focus and to get where I need to get to do what I want to do.
Right.
Technically, the job I do is nowhere near what the military or first responders deal with, but I do deal in security and I deal with a lot of really messed up situations. So for just my mindset, that's where I am. I get lost in the music and I do the treadmill. Now, I know that another one that you and I have talked about before is like equestrian with the horses as a way to avenue to help people. Talk a little bit about what they do to help people like with mental health in that program.
We have the equestrian program that they go out and interact with the horses, ride them, pet them, feed them. It's like a whole program that she has set up for the horses, and it's therapeutic, and like you were saying, we have the yoga, the EOS, the fitness, because that was big, the TB12 with Tom Brady, to be able to partner with his organization, the work we had to put to be able to do something like that, as well. And so I think the fitness is really important. And like you were saying, now you have that comedy and music, because my background is sports. I came into music and I knew what laughter, can do to heal. And it's absolutely right when these veterans and military that we get referred in our program that come from the leadership of the VA, the leadership of the DOD. We have active military. We have first responders coming in through police departments and chiefs of police, sheriffs, and, different people being referred to us. A lot of times, again, companies that you partner with outside need to understand donors is I'm getting people that our music program example is the biggest one that's backed up because we've got people that are suicidal, who they want to heal through music. Like one of the families out of Indiana, his wife, he's deployed. He's a combat. He was 25 years been deployed. He's been Coast Guard combat, special ops with Coast Guard. His wife is taking the brunt of this, and so she was suicidal. So they came to us, said, can we get in B. Taylor's music program?
Yeah.
Because she wants to learn how to produce and DJ.
There you
so,
go.
I'm hands-on.
Yeah.
So, this is me making sure she had how to DJ, production, going through our music program, and going through so that he doesn't come back home to a wife that's, gone.
Yeah.
And we had couple other suicidal coming from the military, and they want to sing, and they can have good voices, but they need coaching. There's a lot of guidance and being in there. And so people don't understand, like, we're hands-on and we get this. And a lot of times companies don't understand that because you don't deal directly with that. I'm from that background. And when people are not feeling good or depressed and they can heal through music and comedy, and we have those things to be able to do that, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Absolutely. No, it's a big thing. I know, companies are focused more now, understanding well-being, trying to be thoughtful of people. It's something that we need to talk about, that we need to have conversations about, and it's not always the obvious answer. In the security world, it's not always the person you suspect is doing wrong that's doing wrong.
Right.
You got to track the evidence and follow where it goes to lead where it is. And I'm always constantly blown away by the people I interact with what they do, with what they deal with on a day-to-day basis, and how they handle. And I think that it's so great that there's so many varied programs that you guys have available for them to go to. And I think it's key that if you are searching and you are trying to figure out and you need help, reach out, please. You know what? Yeah, we're in Vegas, but we don't care. Reach out. You know what? You got me. You go to my page. You can reach out to me on my page. You tell me what you need.
Right.
That is the biggest thing I think that we need to have with it.
No, I agree with you, Stevie. And my thing was not trying to be the biggest military veteran nonprofit. It's about quality of work to me.
Yeah.
And it's not. I sit on the board of U.S. Vets, and we deal with a 120 million plus operating budget, and U.S. Vets is our largest homeless, and we do great work. But for me, it's about more like the buddies that I had that were in Special Ops. Special Ops is a small unit, but it's the Pro Bowl of defense and Pro Bowl of security. It's the best of the best. When you're talking about SEALs, Recon, MARSOCs, Green Beret, Rangers, PJs, Air Force PJ. You're talking about Coast Guard Special. You're talking about the best when you're talking about United States Special Operations. So it's small units that do the biggest thing. They can come in and take out whatever they need to take out, right?
And it's not as pretty
units.
as it looks on the movies, people.
Right.
Okay? Movies make it fancy and exciting and fun.
Right.
The real stuff is heavy.
It's heavy.
And they got spouses and partners and kids at home knowing they don't know where they're at and what they're doing because they can't. That's a waste.
It's a waste. And so that's how I wanted to be as a nonprofit, of not go out here and just have all this money and be ginormous, but to be able to be self-sufficient with a small team, and we're able to independently outsource so that we can help more veterans, and we give them the attention. I don't want to be I didn't want to be so massive where you start losing focus of the vet and the active duty and the first responders. So that's what I prided on with my team and management, and Kim and Celeste and Jason, more of hey guys, we're going to make an impact. So let's make sure these vets and active duties are getting what they need, and we're not just worried about overpacking. And going out and getting 10 million out, 20 million, 30 million, because then it starts to get into this massive thing. And I'm not in the nonprofit to be rich, get rich, and make all this money. I'm already in music, entertainment. There's other ways for me. So it's more of the quality of work that we do. And I feel like when military and veterans come to us and first responders, they can speak on that and say, you know what? B. Taylor's team in One Life, the quality of work they do, they're hands-on. No one falls through the crack. They check up on you, and that's the quality of work that I want to be remembered for, and not I want to be remembered for I'm the largest veteran-owned nonprofit.
Yeah, and I think it's important that people know that that's out there. Okay, yes, there are going to always be companies and nonprofits and stuff and people that do, and they technically they're doing it for with the fame, the money, the whatever. The reason I felt like we aligned so well when we had met and first started talking, and when I started this podcast and wanting you on it, because this is nothing to do with me.
Right.
I'm talking, yeah, and I'm on camera, and I love the camera. Hello. But this is about getting the right information to the people who need it. And those are the service members and their family, whether active duty, whether retired. And that is a big misconception, I think, with the mental health too, is people assume, okay, well, they retired and they're okay. Mm-mm. And not necessarily. There can be heavyweight you carry on for years. And it's okay if it's just a little something that you're questioning that's making you go, hey, maybe something's not right. Maybe I do need to reach out and talk to someone. It's okay if it's just a small little thing triggering on you.
Right.
You know, you and I have talked a lot. The never let them see you sweat.
Right.
I mean, I have emotions. I don't like them.
Right.
Kind of thing. It's a caliber of who I am. But there are moments that I realize I have to step up. Recently, we had the reminder of my father's passing. And it was a day. I was so stressed out because I was worried about how my mother and my sister were feeling, that by the time that night my husband got home from work and I was home, he hugged me and I just cried because I had just been wound up all day. And they did okay. They survived the day. It wasn't the best day ever, but they survived the day. So it's like, you got to be okay with having those moments and understand that there are people and there are avenues out there. Yeah. Okay, you're not alone. Mm-mm. For the love of God, you're not alone. And if you're not comfortable going to be, come to me, okay? And I'll get you to him because he's really nice. He just looks like he's a big, strong, scary guy, but he's actually very kind and quite wonderful to hang out with. So.
No, you're the best, Stevie. No, and that's what, I talked to my dad being a reverend pastor.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, Dad, I want you to, be in here and be a chaplain for us because I feel like as you're growing and the different forces when you're growing, you got different things that's trying to, especially when you're doing great work. Like I grew up in a household of service. My mom and dad's life is an open book. 35 years raised foster kids. For 35 years, my mom was over the youth. My dad, was over the youth, and now he's been a minister for 50 years. What I'm saying, at 70 years old. So their life, they've been married for 50 years. Their life has been open book of self-service. So I grew up like that. And so one of the things my dad says, when you're trying to go further and you're growing, God didn't place me to be around all of these relationships. Like there's a reason for me to be the last 15 years with the last 5 chairmen of the Joint Chiefs and last Secretary of Defense and presidents and working in this space and being in entertainment, being discovered by Motown and Snoop and, the whole Eminem camp. And, it's a reason God put me in these things. And my father was saying, when you're moving up, there's certain forces that try to get in the way and try to discredit what you're trying to do. So you got to have prayer. And then I told my dad, I said, you know what, Dad, need you in here, while you're here. And I will never not have a chaplain to pray on things, because when you're in entertainment like I am and you're trying to be positive with all the craziness, as coming out with what's going on with, Diddy, who needs much prayer, not somebody to ridicule him, just prayer for whatever it is. But you've got this world of entertainment. And so when I came into it from a positive family, coming from college, serving the country. We weren't perfect kids, but we had great parents and great aunts and uncles that taught us. And so when you come into entertainment with Motown, who was positivity, it was some forces in entertainment that didn't want me to go down this route. Oh, you're in the urban hip hop. You need to do this. You need to have an edge. You need to have some negativity. You need to have, and I never changed that, right? And so now that I've built all of this up, being, and I knew what my calling was with representing our heroes, I feel like companies, if you're going to partner with somebody that's doing a nonprofit, whatever you are in the capacity, you need to understand what that vet or what they're doing. Right. Especially with us, with military and veterans. You don't need to be virtual and far away and assume. If you're going to partner with them, you need to go figure out and find out what their programs do and see what they do, not sit up here in a tower and just be like, and then when you don't understand what they're doing, you want to flex stuff down and act a certain way when you've had years to go and visit and you don't know what they're doing. You need to understand, especially with us, with military and veterans, because there are people that really help, people that really, and that's when you can look back on my whole life coming out of the military and going into entertainment sports, not one person to tell you. From the time I did my first music video, the military and veterans were at my video. I used the Department of Defense. This is not me doing this in 2024. This is from the first video I shot in 2009.
Right.
The military has always been in music video. If you look up, you'll always see veterans and military, because I was trying to crack the door of entertainment and sports who didn't understand these things, and crack the door of like, hey man, stop putting us up in the nosebleeds.
Right.
Why aren't we VIP when we come to games?
Oh, yeah.
Why are we doing this? Why can't why you got to have the veteran getting coffee? You don't know this veteran, maybe he can film. He was a photographer in the military taking pictures and filming for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. You mean to tell me he can't do the same work? He's got skills just like anybody else in entertainment, or even better, because he has the determination. He knows to be on time. He knows how to put it together. So why can't he be, why can't he be the talent? You telling me a veteran can't perform and sing?
Yeah.
Okay, just because he served in the military. So it was all these obstacles because of these myths, especially with the younger generation of people.
Yep.
So I've been able to crack those walls and build these opportunities to have these platforms of Dre's, have these platforms of Super Bowl. Man, we got, you don't know this, but the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that built the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Dublin, who also built Michael Jackson's house, who Michael and his studio, because Michael lived in Dublin for a while. So they were just in town. They came to Vegas, sought me out because they have this new, called The Giant. It's this new 7-story, 8-story AI hologram that changes. You can advertise on it. Can change into people, change it. So they're debuting it at the Super Bowl, and they have blocked out for me to perform my We Are One with the military and veterans, and highlight veterans changing into some of the veterans and military that I know on the hologram, and marketing them in the Super Bowl. And they want to bring it to Vegas, but this is the opportunity. So now, I got to get these military and veterans together in the studio to be them ready for this. But this is what comes to me. And so he's the head of he built the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ireland.
Gotcha.
And so he owns rights of Michael's music, and they created The Giant. And so they sought me out, and that's what we have to be able. They're going to debut it at Super Bowl, this big hologram, and it has a staged attack, and they want to let us perform this. And these are the opportunities that if I wasn't in entertainment, I would never even give opportunity for military to highlight military and veterans.
Oh yeah.
And things like that,
No, and it's so true. So they served our country. It's time we serve them.
Right.
Is as basic as I can get to it. And I don't care what stature in the family you are. If you are the service member, if you are the spouse partner, if you are the child, you serve with the serviceman that serves. You may have not gone to the combat, but you do. My mother had to run the house when my dad was at sea. You serve.
Right.
So to all of them, I have watched for years. There's still a stigmata with military spouses if it's active duty trying to get work. And companies are like, well, I don't know if you're going to leave, and I don't know where you're going to go. And my favorite was one guy said to the interviewer, he said, okay, well, how can you guarantee somebody who you hire who's not married to a military member isn't going to decide in 2 weeks they get a better job offer and they leave just because they want to? And it was one of the most clear, precise moments someone had said to them, like, your perspective is skewed, and you're missing out on this quality and this talent. And my dad sang, he had a band, and I believe every member of that band served in the military as well, and that was their outlet, and that was their mental health and their thing, and they would perform, and it was fun, and they got out of it, and had a great time. And there's more aspects to it than that, and that's what I think is so key about with the mental health. You don't have to have it doesn't have to be comedy for you, okay?
Right.
It doesn't have to be singing or writing music or horses. There's so many avenues that are offered, especially I know through One Life, because I know you and I partner with you a lot, that is, you guys have several for every kind of area where someone could need.
Yeah.
And that is key to what we need to do. We live in a very negative world.
Yeah.
We live in a very divided world. We don't get into politics or anything on this podcast. I don't do that, okay? But what I will say is I grew up with a very positive influence. My father was very much about positive thoughts. My sister and I would joke, sunshine up the butt, yay, because he would always find a happy solution to it. But it stuck with me. And it's where we need to be in the world now, where we're looking for the avenues instead of looking for a positive way to help, to fix, to grow. We look for the negative to it. And that's where those stigmatas and those myths come into play. Oh, well, a negative is you might move away.
Right.
A positive is they might bring something to your company you never thought could be there and it will excel.
Exactly.
And that's why to me I like to have these open conversations about the mental health, about the things where we discuss with people. All of us should be okay to talk about this, but we don't. And we keep it hush-hush, and we keep it as a negative. And it's not. Let's have that conversation. It's okay that you got feelings and they got frustration and I'm not a licensed therapist, and there's a reason why. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I will kick you in the butt and get you going, girl.
Right.
I will fight you 100%. I will fight for you. I think my biggest struggle I deal with in my job is I can't fix everything. I'm a fix-it person.
Right.
I'm a protector. That's what I do. When I can't just... But there's a reason the path is laid out the way it is in my job. The fact that I just... much like you did, being the daughter of the military man, getting the opportunity to take that specialty hiring program or to take those areas to learn and then find my path to this podcast.
Right.
Because this is what I needed to do. This is where I needed to be. And that I think is huge. And I will say to those that do watch us and do listen to us, if there is a topic, if there is a subject, if there is something that comes up, and whether it's specific to be or not that you guys need, then email us and let us know. Message us and let us know, because we will talk about it. We want to get you the information that you need. We want you to know the resources you can go to. This is something that we intend to continue to keep doing and keep growing as big as we can, not because it makes us look good, because we're here for you, because we're trying to fight and protect for you.
Exactly.
That's end of story on that for me. Yeah. So tell me, when you have someone reach out to your group, you guys talk to them, kind of get a feel for what, is like what they're looking for, what they like, their hobbies, those kind of things, right?
They'll reach out and see something that they want to be a part of.
Okay.
And then there's like a program where, with Kim and Celeste and Jason, they'll send over information to get their D. If they're veteran, to get their DD-214, get what background they served in. If they're active duty, their active duty. If they're first responder, their first responder badge, and kind of fill out what they want to do. A lot of times they come in and want to get information, or they'll say, hey, we saw we have a guy going through, he just got his new puppy. Because it's people don't understand service dogs is expensive.
Yes, they are.
And it's an 18-month, it's a long process. And so, him getting his puppy and stuff, and we've partnered with Silver State Service Dogs, and they're very particular. There's a whole process. They just don't give it to this veteran because they say it's a veteran that has to be. So they got to go through a whole criteria. And she, her family member in Missouri breeds black labs that are been breeding for years, that are specially made, high-end, top-of-the-line pedigree dogs that do service work.
Gotcha.
So it's like, things like that. They'll figure out what they want to do and then come in. And then when it comes to like the music program, because a lot of times we get music inquiries, and I'll get it from my management too. Then I come in. I'm not that guy that you never see in the studio. You know what I mean? I don't never want to be like that. First, it's like, get what they want to do. And then, they sing. So then I hear them, they'll send me videos of them, of what they sing, how they do. So then I'll go, okay, this is where she's at or he's at. And then I'll get the backstory, they were depressed, suicidal. So then that hits me. So then I create music going, okay, this is what we're going to do for this Christmas album. This is what we're going to do for this EP. This is the key this person is in. And so it's more of me coaching, because I'm not coming in there to be on them like we're getting ready to put out a record with Beyonce, because they don't have that. It's more about helping them to nurture their talent and being where they can leave and go, man, B. Taylor helped me. You know, I'm not depressed or suicidal anymore. Like, man, I want to be here for my kids, and I have this music program that I learned how to do this, and now I can go back in and do this, and they can grow instead of going in there where it's like I'm on them. They already had enough. You know, when it's a military veteran, so I can relate to that. You know, and stuff like that. And so that's my biggest thing is like, I think the biggest thing is that I can tell people out there, when it comes to military and veterans and first responders and their families who make sacrifices and see things that you will never ever see in your life if you haven't served. You will never ever see it. Like, so there's no trying to copy and see it off a movie, reading some book. If you've never seen what they've seen, you need to get your behind as a leader of whatever company you are. And if you're partnered with them in whatever capacity, go understand what they do. Sit down with them and go understand the programs and understand. Don't sit here and be in a tower like I tell you all the time and be like, oh, I'm doing something good so I can just look good for books and internet. You need to go understand them, because when you don't understand how they're thinking and what they've been through, and they decide to try to do this and you're not in line with that, all of a sudden you don't become an ally to that veteran or troop. And some of the veterans don't have the positive, like we had, mental health, and they might go down another road, and now you have aided. You thought you have helped them, but you've now aided them to become even worse than what they already were. Because you didn't take the time. You wanted to do it for clicks. And for the show on paper that you're supporting veterans and military, when you haven't even sat down with the military leadership or veterans to understand what the programs, what are the issues. That's my biggest thing. And so for me going forward, as whatever I do, I'm military and veteran through and through, because without our heroes, there's no country. And that's what your dad taught me. My dad served. Without them, there's no United States of America. There's no peace on this earth. You know, and when we have different problems, the first people we're calling, if somebody, you know, is sick or falls out or gets shot or getting robbed, you're not calling me, Steve. You're calling 911, first responders. If there's a conflict in the world, you're calling the military veteran community. The first time when we had Israel going on, you had people going, when is the president going to send the military in? It wasn't, when or what are we going to do and pray? It was like, when is our troops going into Ukraine? When is our troops going? It's always when that comes up, we want to go send them in. But the minute we come back, and we have great ideas and we want to sit down, now it's, you put us behind the curtain. But when it's wartime or when you need help, we're out in front of that curtain. You know, and so that's what I'm trying to get this younger generation of business people and executives to understand, that when you have a military and veteran community coming to you, you're getting the best skill sets of the best. So when you want to partner with them, understand what they're trying to do so that you can help aid them in their mission, because they deserve to be aided in that mission. They serve this country. They deserve it. Don't sit up here and just partner with them again so that you can put it on your website, put it on the internet, that you're helping veterans and you've never even sat down with a veteran program and military to go through it. That's my biggest thing that needs to clean up, to educate people. If you're going to be in this community, understand it. You'd rather not even support it if you don't know it. You know? You know?
It's true. It's very true. I know several different, I work with a bunch of different charities and different things, and there are so many that are focused on trying to really, really help those running risk of suicide who served. There are those, I know there's several that do the service dogs. There's actually one I was just recently informed about where they actually rescue dogs from the shelters. And train them to be service dogs. So they're rescuing twice. They're double rescuing, which I just love, because I love puppies. And so that one's phenomenal to me to help do that. I've seen the impact that they can have on them. I think that's a huge thing as well. And I think that the more we get this word out, the more we discuss this, the more we get them and talk to them, the better it's even going to be with every step that we do. So I think it's phenomenal. I love it. I'm always going to have you back as much as I can because I love what you're doing and what you're about in every way. If we have some people who are interested in maybe doing a date night, military couple, whether active duty or not, want to do date night and go check out Dre's comedy, do they reach out to One Life? What do they do?
Yeah, they can reach out if they want to come and they're military and veterans. They can reach out to One Life organization.org and go reach out. And then what I'll do is they'll pass it over to my management so that we can make sure that military and vets, so that I can know they're there because I kick off the show so that I can honor them.
Yeah.
As well,
I love that.
And we'll make sure that they can come to the show and stuff. And, that's a big, to be able to do music and do comedy, to do something like this on the Strip, that's, a big deal. That just highlights another platform.
Yes.
For me to, keep pushing down people in younger generation that it's okay for you to say thank you to your service members.
Right.
And for young people, it's okay to serve. Your life is not over.
Yep.
You'll become a better person.
Yep.
You're going to meet some of the most outstanding people in camaraderie that you've ever met in your life.
Yep.
I played sports at a high level. The people that I met in the military was a whole different animal.
Oh, yeah.
And I still am friends with all of my friends that are in the NFL that play and coach now. But when you're in the military, it's a different camaraderie because it's like every action you do, if you don't do what you're supposed to, that person can get killed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like whatever. It doesn't matter, all the way up from the person that's infantry all the way to the back admin office.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in the military has a role because it affects everything, and they take it serious.
It's 100%. And I think a lot of people forget there are those who pay the ultimate sacrifice and leave a family behind. And you want to talk about mental health.
Oh, big time.
Good night.
Yeah.
And they got to figure out how to keep on trucking and keep on going. And
it's a trickle to the kids.
Oh, yeah. It's a whole thing.
It's a trickle effect that people don't even see,
Yeah.
That's why we're here to help them. And that's what I feel like I'm so grateful to be able to be in entertainment because it has provided me to open up doors.
Yep.
Because we get a lot of that. Like I've never had, how much I'm seeing the impact of music.
Oh, yeah.
That's what the troops are like, look, man, we're watching comedy and listening to music.
Yep.
When we're out to sea or out to
Perfect.
to heal. That's what makes them. Or we're watching games, sports.
Oh, yeah.
So by me able to take them to sports, having a music program, and now having a comedy, you're talking to 95% of the heroes. That's how they heal and let their outlet with their families anyway. Sporting events,
Absolutely.
music concerts, comedy.
There you go. The top 3 right there.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much, B. I really, really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And I love everything that you're doing. And for those of you who are watching, please know that there are so many avenues for you to go to. There are so many places for you to go. We want to make sure you get reached and connected to who you need to be connected to. So if you don't know, reach out to me. You can reach out to One Life. We're going to try to make sure you get connected where you need to be to help you, okay? Because you matter. You have value. We need you. So hang in there and reach out. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Remember what you need to do. You need to like, follow, share. Check us out. YouTube, Spotify. We're everywhere. And we want to keep on growing. We love having you with us. We can't wait to see you till next time. Bye, guys. Have a great day.